To register for classes, you need to go into mytlcnj.com and log in. Once you're there, you want to scroll down and you want to click on the picture for class grid. I would suggest that you log in to your website a few minutes before registration opens up for you, and to be sure to check out the grid prior to this so you know what you want to register for. At the top of the screen, you're going to see our private lessons. Again, I want to remind you that if you register for a private lesson, you are committing to a full year, and you will be responsible for your payments to that outside teacher. If you scroll down a little more, you're going to find our grid per hour, and you'll notice a few things. You will see a class, and sometimes next to it you'll have the class repeated. If you click on the second listing in the row, it will tell you to go back and click on the first one, because this is just a placeholder. Like Science Reporters is covering grades 2nd through 5th grade. I'm sorry, kindergarten through 2nd grade, and you notice the columns kindergarten through 1st and then 2nd through 3rd. So we just put it there to let you know that these are the grades that they're covering, but you can only register on the first listing. So once you find a class that you want to register for, you click on the title, which will drop down into the description. Here you can read the description, you can read how many children are available and how many the class will take maximum. To the right, you're going to see your child's name. The name that you see next to after your children with an asterisk is actually your name as a parent. We do allow parents to register themselves to volunteer to help in a class, but we do want everyone to understand that just by registering to volunteer for a class doesn't necessarily mean that you will get in the class. That just kind of helps us give an idea of some of the desires that you have, and when we place all the parents in a position hourly, we have to look at the group as a whole and make sure that everything is covered. So what you're going to do is when you find a class you want to register, you want to go ahead and click on the box next to your child's name. After you check that box, you must click on the register button. So when you click on it, it'll tell you your registration was successful, and you'll say OK. Once you're done registering your children for classes, you can scroll up to the top and you can view the summary. When you go to view summary, it will show you your students and the classes that they were registered for. Okay, I'm going to go back to the class grid, and there's just a few things I want to show you. A lot of our classes are restricted as far as age and grade. So for our chemistry class up here, this class is for high school, and so we do restrict the age that you can enter. This class is basically for students who have finished Algebra 1. So if I tried to register for Sally, you'll notice that her box is grayed out, and if I put my mouse over it, it's going to tell me that the class schedule conflicts with an existing registration. So this is a little different. This basically is just saying that I've already registered for a class at 9:30, and this is a 2-hour class, so it won't let me register for this class. But if I scroll down to the first hour, which I've already registered for, and let's actually scroll down to the second hour, and if I tried to register for American History, Sally's box is not clickable, but if I put my mouse over it, it says the child does not meet the age requirements. So let me just share a little bit about this box. If your child is 7 years old during registration, and by the time classes start they are going to be 8 years old, and they would be allowed to register for a class, then you would need to contact me and say my child will be 8 by the time classes begin, and then I have to go in there and register your child for you. So sometimes it will restrict your child. Maybe your child's going to be 8 years old the day after registration class begins, but the system doesn't recognize that. Your child has to be 8 before classes begin. So if they're 8 within a week or so, just let me know and I'll register your child for you. The other thing I'd like to make note of is this General Assembly and the lunch period. General Assembly, let's see, yes, you can register for that. It's not necessary for you to register for General Assembly, but it is necessary for you to register for lunch. This tells us how many people are going to actually be in the building during the lunchtime. So since you're registering for lunch, you probably should just go up here and register for General Assembly. Now, there's some of you who may not stay for lunch, but want to stay for General Assembly, so I would suggest yes, definitely. So I will take that back and say that General Assembly is required to register if you're going to be in the building. And lunch, of course, is required for you to register also. The other thing I want to make note is when you're in an hour, if one of your children cannot get into a class, then I would need you to, if you're going to be in the building, that child does need to be registered for study. So you would click on study and you would register your children that need to be in study and hit register. Every time you register a child or children for a class, you must hit this register button here because that will confirm your registration into that class. Once you're done with registering for all classes, including your lunch hour and General Assembly and any study hours that your children need to be in, you can go to the top of the screen and click on View Summary, and you can check out all the classes that you've registered for. You can also go up to the balance on the top of your screen and you look to see what your balance is here. To pay for your classes, you just click on the box and you pay for classes. All of the fees are due by June 30th unless you have been put on a payment plan. If you need to be on a payment plan, you just need to request it by emailing me at info@mytlcnj.com. Another thing I want to make note is to make sure that under your profile you've updated all your important information, and at the top you're going to see a medical consent form. This must be filled out if at any time your child will be at a field trip without you, or if your child goes to co-op without you, or any activity that we host. The co-op is not a drop-off, but there are times when older children can come without a parent. Maybe a younger sibling is sick, or the parent is sick and they're sending them with another parent to be responsible for them. If you have any questions, just give me a call at 908-902-6447 during registration, or you can also send me an email. One other thing I do want to mention regarding your profile. If you scroll down to the children area, you're going to notice that we have a new field here for child email and password. You could put in the child's email and password here, especially if they're an older child and they're going to be in classes where the teachers are going to be communicating to them through forums. In the past, the forums only went to the parents, and then the parents had to forward them to the child or let them know what the email said. So if your child has an email, go ahead and put their email address in their profile and give them a password. Then the student can go in and log in as the student, and they can see the forums for their classes and get communication from their teacher. Any communication from the teacher that goes to the student will also be copied over to the parent. So both the parent and the child will get the communication from the student. Again, if you have any questions, give me a call or send me an email.